Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about fasting in Ramadan and revising for exams or sitting your exams. Now the two are not mutually exclusive. You do not have to decide whether you want to fast or whether you want to do your exams. You can, it is entirely possible and completely doable to fast and sit exams and to revise and to be just as successful, if not better, than what you would be if you weren't fasting. I did my exams quite a few years ago now, and I was lucky that the fasting was in, I think it was in the winter. It's now in the summer, so it's right in the middle. I know that GCSE exams and A-level exams or even university exams are literally slap bang in the middle of fasting. I totally understand why people are worried. Now I've heard a lot of students say, oh, I've been told by my mosque that I don't have to fast, or my dad told me not to fast, or fasting is I'm gonna fail my exams are more important, this, that and the other. I have about 6 or 7 tips on how you could make your life easier, how you can alleviate that stress to make it so you don't have to choose between doing your exams and fasting. You can fast, be spiritual, make ibadah, do what you want to do, and still be just as effective with revision and pass even better than you would if you weren't fasting. Tip number 1 is to adjust your routine now. Not next week, not next month. So you need to think to yourself, okay, well I know that I'm going to start fasting from the 15th of May, around that kind of time. So I've got what, like three and a half weeks from now to think about it. So let me start doing a bit more intense revision, or let me start to sleep a bit earlier to make myself more likely to wake up earlier. Let me stop drinking coffee, or let me stop doing this or that, to help my body with adjusting to things later on. We go from one day eating what we want, drinking what we want, to literally overnight, no food, no drink, waking up at 3 AM, going to sleep at 4 AM, things like that. And it does take a toll on your body, but that we can make that easier by starting that pattern earlier. If you're not waking up for Fajr already, start to do it. Start to get into that habit. So when you do start waking up, it isn't such a shock to your body, and it isn't something that you have to spend a week adjusting to, because then that'll be a week lost in your routine. You can also just start fasting now, like do maybe Mondays and Thursdays, or do a day here, a day there, just to get yourself into the routine, get yourself into the habit of fasting, because you're gonna have to do it in a month's time. So you might as well practice a little bit, do a day here, do a day there, get used to it, and get used to kind of being in that zone. So again, when you actually come to the day that you have to start fasting, it isn't such a massive shock to your system. So definitely think about your routines and start to change them. So my second tip is to revise differently. Think about how you're going to revise. Now, it is tough enough on a full stomach with lots of water, in your normal state, reading a textbook full of writing, like that's tough enough. And then you're saying to do that with all the hunger that you feel. So I would recommend thinking about how you're revising right now and changing that. So if you're revising with massive textbooks, reading loads of articles online on the computer, change it. Go and start to make little little flashcards. Condense your information. Put them onto small flashcards, because when you come to revising when you're fasting, it is much easier to read condensed information than it is to read massive textbooks. Try to change your revision style to help suit the way that you think you're going to be able to revise when you're fasting, when you're hungry. The third thing, and I don't think I need to say this, is to eat well. I know that when it comes to Ramadan and when we start fasting, we just tend to eat all the sambusas, and we tend to eat all the, all the other stuff that comes into it, all these fried foods. Now these are not helping us. They are in fact making you feel more tired, more sluggish, more unhealthy, and they're just not helping in general to make you feel better inside, and also to give you the best mental capacity that you could possibly have. Try to eat slow energy releasing foods such as complex carbs, lentils, oats, wheat, beans, that kind of thing. Try to eat those kind of things in the morning and in the evening when you break your fast. Try to incorporate a lot of water into your diet. So as soon as you can start to eat, as soon as it's iftar, just drink water. Drink it. Keep on drinking it until you cannot drink it anymore, because hydration is one of the most important things that your brain needs to keep concentration, to stay focused. So without being hydrated, you will lose concentration and you'll become tired, and then you've just lost out on a day when you didn't need to do that if you just drank bit more water. So to do that, I would say maybe keep like a large bottle, fill it up with water, and give yourself the target of drinking that all by the time that you go to sleep, and hopefully that would help. I know that not everyone has the privilege of living with family or living with other Muslims who are fasting, so it's really important that you think about how you're going to cook. You can bulk cook, maybe cook at the beginning of the week, cook lots of chicken or lots of fish or whatever it is that you want to have that week, and then spend less time cooking and more time focusing on your revision and more time focusing on the work that you have to do. Now it's really important to make sure that you're eating well, so if you don't cook in advance and then you get to 8 o'clock and you start getting hungry, you're more likely to order a pizza or just get a takeaway or something, or just whip up something really quickly. That's not that healthy, and that will not help you tomorrow when you come to revise. So try to make sure that you're eating healthy, avoiding sugary junk food, things that are not good for you anyway, but especially in Ramadan when you're hungry and you need the best kind of food that's going to nourish and give nutrition to your brains and your body, you need to make sure that you're eating the right kind of food, especially if you want to revise well and do well in your exams. Number 4 is make sure that you double check your timetable. So make sure that you know what it says, because when you're fasting and you look at something, you may see something completely different. So before you start fasting, look at your timetables now. I believe they should be out this week or something, the finalized timetable. Make sure that you know if your exam is in the morning or if it's in the afternoon, because this can make a whole difference on kind of how you spread your revision out and what you are going to do to plan revision. So make sure you know your timetable really well, and take a look at that now before you start fasting, because it's the worst thing you want is to realize that you had an exam in the morning and it's the afternoon, or to be late to an exam, or to not wake up for an exam. So really be careful and know what time your exams are, so you can schedule your alarm accordingly and wake up and revise accordingly. The next tip is to avoid caffeine. Try to avoid it from now, so cut it out. I don't drink any coffee, I don't drink anything with caffeine in it anyway. If you drink it 5 times a day, drink it 2 times or 1 time. Slowly cut it out. If you're suffering from headaches in the first week, you're going to impact on your own revision, and then that's going to become a problem for you. Caffeine is also a diuretic, which means that you lose more water through urine when you drink more caffeine. Why would you want to lose even more water when you're not getting enough in the first place? So try to cut out coffee. Don't drink it when you're even allowed to drink. Just avoid it. My last tip, which is something that I think a lot of people forget, is that education and revising and sitting exams is part of our religion. It is part of being spiritual. Passing your exams, getting an education, being an educated person is what makes you a good Muslim. Part of being a good Muslim is educating yourself, being knowledgeable. It doesn't matter what it's in, just being knowledgeable, being able to give something back, being able to expand your brain. The first word that was revealed in the Quran was read. So being able to read, being able to understand, being able to gain knowledge until the day you die, being able to always learn something, and this is part of being spiritual. This is part of your religion. So I know that you might be thinking, oh, if I'm revising all the time, how am I going to be able to read Quran? How am I going to be able to do all these things? You can still do those things, just factor them into your day. But don't forget that revising is not something that's outside of the religion. Studying is not something that is wasting your time. If anything, if you make the right intention and you say, I'm studying for the sake of Allah, I'm studying to become a better Muslim, to be the best Muslim I can in society, to be a doctor and to serve my community, to be whatever it is that you want to be, have the right intention and balance your time with other things such as reading Quran. After you pray, sit down for 15 minutes, read Quran, and then go and revise. It is a form of ibadah and it is a form of spirituality. So my battery has died and is about to die again, so I have to finish this video. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you are able to take something away from this and apply it to your revision in the next couple of weeks. And I wish you all the best of luck in your exams. I know you will all do amazingly. Do let me know what other video you want to see related to kind of revising or fasting and how to maybe balance the two together. Do let me know what other videos you'd like to see, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!